going forward in the games. Sort of reminds me a little bit of like, Hello everyone, I'm Dave Ace, and welcome to Sonic Horizons. This is a demo for a fan game that I know that's been in the works for quite some time. It's being developed by Strix. As far as I'm aware, this is the brand new demo. Just recently came out last month. It was a Christmas demo, and the only thing we have available to us is a time trial, and we have the tutorial and dimension port. Now, I haven't really been following along with the development of this for too long, but I do know that we have Sonic as a playable character here. Not sure who the other playable character may be. Could be a fan character, maybe even Shadow, for all we know. And I know that this started off as like a sort of, I guess, a way to kind of predict what Sonic Frontiers was going to be. I don't know if that's what it intentionally was supposed to be, but I do remember there being like a demo from like Sage a couple of years back where it like sort of made an overworld that was very similar and very much, you know, inspired by Sonic Frontiers. But I gotta say, this looks beautiful. I do have a little bit of a weird thing when it comes to the camera. I like how it's like sort of dynamic. It's very dynamic. Oh, I'm learning. I do really love the layout of this stage. It really reminds me of, okay, yeah, you do have to be in the air for that. It reminds me a lot of Null Space, and I think a lot of people have shared that sentiment. So I mean, it looks like Null Space but better. It looks that's how I would describe it. Null Space but better. And it looks like we're done with the tutorial, doing a beautiful transition into Dimension Port Act 1. And I could be wrong about this, but I believe that some of the music that you're hearing here is actually made by the remixer Silent Dreams, or the, I wouldn't even say remix, the artist Silent Dream. And I've really been enjoying a lot of their remixes that they've done over the past, and, you know, over the past few years, and their original music as well has been fantastic. So it's very nice to hear his work in like a game like this. Ooh, man. I know that this is a pretty short demo, so I don't want to like zoom through it, but like, oh, God, I love everything I'm seeing here. Again, the camera is very odd. I watched my friend Dylan play this, and I was a little confused by why the camera felt very like far out and zoomed out, but now that I'm actually playing it myself, I think I kind of get it. I get the vibe that they're going for here. Again, with the dynamic camera, it's very nice. I would say it's probably the best attempt at a dynamic camera in a Sonic game in a while, at least from what I've seen. I mean, Frontiers does a really, you know, it does a solid job with the camera work, but I feel like that the camera can be a bit more improved on. But I'm not having any issues here. I thought that maybe the camera being the way that it is, ooh, that's just so very cinematic, so nice. Oh yeah, rail grind changing. I got Sonic doing a little, I can't even remember what I was saying. I know I was talking about cameras, but I'm so enthralled by just how this all looks. I know you can do air tricks, but I don't know if I've ever gotten to a point where I can actually do them. I really love the animation, and the way that Sonic uses the ball form is just very fluid. Really like that fluid animation, and I hope we get that going forward in the games. Sort of reminds me a little bit of like, Again, it's a demo, so stuff like that is to be expected. Oh, and I just realized we have a speed meter right in the bottom left-hand corner. I didn't really know what that meter was, to be honest. But God, I really love the ball form, as I was saying. Like, I really hope that going forward, especially with like how the movies handle them in their ball form, I hope that they improve on it in the games, because they can look so much more better. Oh yeah. That feels good. You can also do the drop dash. I know you can do the drop dash by holding the... You can either do RT or LT. the left trigger or right trigger, and look at that Eggman pose. Now, I know you can actually use photo mode here, so we're going to go into photo mode here just to showcase this a little bit. I don't know if you can actually speed up the process of photo mode here. Look at this Eggman. He just wants a little smooch. And you can also press the triangle button if you're using your PS5 controller like I am, but you can also use the Y button, that's what it'd be on Xbox, to get these like general things up. I'm not sure why that's not listed in the things that you can do here. I'm sure that's probably intended to be there, or maybe they weren't expecting someone to find it. I don't know. But you can like you can change it from free to orbit. I'm not really sure what orbit does. Oh, okay. Just sort of makes it more wow. Sorry for anybody that's motion sick. I just needed to. Okay. So we can go back to free. We can change the camera tilt, the field of view. You can actually hide or show Sonic, so that's pretty nice for getting some background shots. Precision mode just makes the camera more slow, so you can get a more precise precision as entailed by the mode itself. You can apply some effects here. We can go through the focus distance, the aperture, the intensity, the lens effect, chromatic aberration. We got screen overlays, cinematic, slanted cinematic. You can have the logo anywhere you want. That's a clean logo, by the way. Really love that logo. You can make it opaque, 25%, 50% opacity. You know, you can do a lot of stuff. It's very useful, especially for content creators if you're trying to get a thumbnail going. And I just love photo modes in games anyway, because especially for something like this, it is most certainly, I think, needed because of how cinematic this game is. And I hope going forward that Sonic continues to, you know, have a photo mode in his games. I hope Sega does it. I was a little gutted that they didn't put a photo mode in Shadow Gens, considering that it is just built off the framework that Frontiers was built in. So I'm curious as to why they didn't do that, because I feel like going around and taking like photos in white space would have been such a treat to have. Got the bounce bracelet. They call it the bounce. I like to call it bounce bracelet just because I know whenever Sonic was able to bounce, he used bounce bracelet. That's my own terminology. The rail grinding, they really got down packed, I think. That was on my part because I did kind of just keep him crouching there, sort of killed the momentum. Oh, now he's going backwards. Uh-oh. Again, I really love the wall jumping here. Really, something about this, I think I saw someone comment about this on Twitter. They said that this is like if Insomniac were to make a Sonic game, and I couldn't be any more in agreement. This really does feel like an Insomniac take or approach towards Sonic, and it's not because of the obvious, you know, like very much like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart kind of vibes that I get from this, but it's just, I don't know. Also, I really love the little cursor you see there on the wall there, because like it helps me like know where the spin dash is going. I'm sure that was probably intentional. And here we are at the end of the level. Had the cursor in the middle of the screen like a bad content creator that I am. Love that in animation as sick. And that's pretty much everything that this game has to offer in terms of time trials. Now, I'm sure you can go into settings here and you can like mess around with the camera and, you know, adjust it to your likings if you have any issues with how they have it set up within the game itself by default. And you can also go into input and change from standard to an alternative, which just changes some of the controls dependent on how you feel about how the game controls. But other than that, I think this is a really solid game. I can't wait to see what else they have been cooking in store. I know this has been around for a while. I think the first demo for this actually came out in like Sage 2022. And they've been releasing some demos here and there and taking the feedback that they get very like seriously. And I mean, just looking at how this came out, I know it's just a tutorial on one level, but a lot of the feedback that they've gotten really shows, and they are definitely crafted something very unique here. So Sonic Horizons, if you want to try it out, the download link will be in the description down below, as well as a pinned comment. So good luck with the rest of your development journey, Strix. I am looking forward to what else you have in store for Sonic Horizons. Most specifically, really looking forward to seeing how you're going to handle some boss fights. I think that's something that I'm very much interested in checking out. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up with more updates from me, Sonic-related streaming, and, you know, all that jazz. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.